Full Lines Code Officer Lynch speaking.
Yes, this is D4, correct?
It is correct, yes.
Okay, four plainclothes police officers came to the address of 70 Queensberry Street. I just want to know, what did they came out there for? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Is there any way to find that out?
Were they knocking on your door specifically, or were you neighbors?
They were in the building. They were walking on private property, so I was just curious of what they're doing back there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Any way to find that information out?
When did this happen?
Just this morning around, say, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything here, dispatcher. You know the address?
It was 70 Queensberry Street.
Okay, and what's your major concern here?
I just want to know who they were. They were in plain clothes, so I want to make sure they're police officers, for one. And two, what were they doing?
Yeah, I got nothing listed here. So it could be under a different address on Queensbury Street, but I'm not seeing.
Okay, how about 108? How about 108? How about 108 Kilmarnock Street?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there either.
I checked with Wendy, I checked with the K-Cost, and it said it was she was in a plain clothes, right?
Yeah, is it the woman call last time?
Yeah.
This is a male call this time. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, sir.
See, my concern, they could be impersonating police officers, and that could be a serious crime. They identified
They certainly could be. Are they still up there now?
No, they left. They said they were Boston police officers. They specifically said they were Boston police officers. One had a jacket that said Boston Police on it, and one also had a badge sticking out of his belt that had Boston Police. I believe one was a...
Yeah, it could have been a different unit, sir. That could have been like the gang unit or the fugitive unit. That might not have been District 4 officers. That might be the confusion.
Okay, how would I find that information out? Call the Internal Affairs?
I'm not 100% sure. I can transfer you to headquarters. Hold on.
Okay, apparently they have no record of police officers coming, which could be a serious problem.
Police operator.
Yes, how would I know about if an officer responded to an address today, or he had a call for an address today?
If an officer what?
If an officer, a police officer or officers had a call today and responded to a particular address.
You can come into headquarters and check the reports.
Okay, because this morning, around 5:30, 6 o'clock, four plainclothes police officers who said they were Boston police came to the address of either 108 Kilmarnock or 70 Queensberry Street. They have no record of anybody showing up there, so we want to make sure they're Boston police officers, or if not, we get somebody impersonating police officers.
Right. You can always just go into your district, whatever district is closest to you.
I called down there, and they said they have no record of anybody being dispatched or anything. So they said it could have been from another district.
Yeah, then you would have to just check reports because they would have records of all.
Okay, meanwhile, they got four guys going around that could be possibly or may not be police officers that we don't know about.
Call 911 and make a report that way.
So that's the only answer that you have. Who? Can I speak to a supervisor? Are you a supervisor? Can I speak to a supervisor, please?
What's that?
Can I speak to a supervisor, please? Once again, Boston Police have zero accountability.
Operations, Sergeant McDonald speaking.
Yes, sir. Four plainclothes Boston police officers just left in location of either 70 Queensberry Street or 108 Kilmarnock Street. They identified themselves as Boston police officers, but we can't determine what they came out here for or if they were really police officers. So I'm trying to determine that now.
First, who's calling?
This is Mr. Porter calling.
I'm sorry, you're coming in really low.
Mr. Porter, I don't know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Is this who?
Mr. Porter.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
So he just hung the phone up on me, just so you know. The phone had just got hung up. I don't know why. So he hung the phone up, that's even a bigger problem. Alright, so this is going to be posted and I will call him back. Matter of fact, let's see if we can dial that number back now and just see if we can get somebody to pick up the phone. Maybe they could transfer me back over to headquarters.
Come on, this is full police station. Not the fence line. Recording. Help you?
Yes, I was transferred to police headquarters and somehow we got disconnected. Any way you could transfer me back over there, please?
Transfer to headquarters?
Yeah, I was speaking to somebody here, and I was trying to find out some information on some detectives or plainclothes officers that came to a location. You guys do not have the information, so I was over there I was transferred to headquarters, somebody in headquarters, and then somehow we got disconnected. So I would like to know if you could transfer me back over.
Who was it? Where headquarters got transferred to?
It was a sergeant. I couldn't get it. I think it said Morales. I'm not sure.
Hold on.
Let's see if they hang up a second time. This thing doesn't focus too well. Let's go like this.
Police, this line is recorded. Operator 606, do you have an emergency?
Yes, I was speaking to somebody in headquarters about some information about some plainclothes officers that went to a location, and I got disconnected.
About what?
I was speaking to somebody about some plainclothes officers that went to a building, and I got disconnected, so I wanted to speak to that sergeant I was speaking to.
Oh, you're talking to a supervisor.
Right.
Okay, and it was about plainclothes police officers entering a building?
Yeah, they entered into a building. They identified themselves as Boston Police, and that was the end of it. So I called Area D4 to see if they had any calls for anybody coming to that address. They said no. So supposing they transferred me to headquarters, and I got this.
And you were talking to a supervisor?
That's correct.
All right, can I put you on hold again, sir?
Sure.
Okay. So what was the address?
Well, I'm not sure if it's 108 Kilmarnock Street or if it was 70 Queensberry, but both.
108 Kilmarnock?
Right, 108
All right, sir.
Kilmarnock.
All right, hold on.
Okay. Now, this should be readily available since it just came out, but let's see.
Hi, Sarah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hi, sir. You have a very bad connection. You sound very far away. Can you give us a call back, or?
How do I sound now? Is that better?
Oh, that's better. That's better. Okay, sir. If you can dial 617-343-4680, they'll transfer you over to a supervisor.
4680. Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's our clerk's area, and they'll just transfer it over to have them transfer you over to the supervisors, and they're aware of it. Okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. So it says 4680.
Operation McDonald speaking. Can we help you?
Yes, I was told to call this number for the information I was requesting about Kilmarnock and 108 Queensberry Street. They said you're aware of the situation. About
What is it?
okay, 4 plainclothes police officers just left about maybe 45 minutes ago, and I was just curious to know what they came over for and who the officers were.
And you said it was 18 Queensberry?
70 Queensberry or 108 Kilmarnock Street. Both buildings are connected together, so I'm not sure what address it comes up under.
Alright, I'll connect you to District D4. I can't give you any information about what happened there, but you can speak with an officer, okay?
I spoke to D4 already, and they told me to speak to you guys.
Okay. I can't give you that information.
Okay, who has that information?
I think so, yeah.
Like, who would have that? Do you know?
Okay. Alright, I just got something cleared up. Let me get to the supervisor, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Operations Lieutenant DeGeromo.
Yes, I spoke to multiple people, and they transferred me to you. Basically, 4 plainclothes police officers came to the address of 70 Queensberry Street or 108 Kilmarnock. I'm not sure what address it comes up as, but they identified themselves as Boston police officers. I'm just curious to know what they were here for and who were the officers.
Yeah, you know, I would suggest calling the district.
We tried that already.
What'd they say?
They said to talk to you.
No, you gotta talk to the district, sir.
We called the district
I
multiple
don't mean to run you around, but just call the district and talk to the supervisor.
We spoke to the supervisor over there. They referred us to headquarters.
You talked to the supervisor?
That's correct.
Who was it? Do you know, remember?
I'm not sure of the name. They gave me a runaround, back and forward, and now they're telling me to speak to you.
So, let me ask you this. Does it concern you? Did they come to your house?
Well, they came in my vicinity, so I was in the presence. I'm seeing them. They look kind of suspicious because they said they were police officers. One had a badge hanging out, and they were kind of vague. They come out the back door. They were all bunched together. I didn't know what they were doing, so it brought to my attention. So we tried to inquire who they were and what they were. They were kind of like, kind of said they were doing an interview, and I don't know who does interviews 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, you just concerned that they weren't police officers? Is that your concern?
My concern is it was kind of late, or I should say early in the morning, coming out the back door.
Well, the police can go, if they get a call, no matter what time they can go and investigate. It's not,
That's the problem. There's no call. There's no call on record, so that makes it more suspicious.
there's no common row. They could have on-sited something. I mean, it's.
Inside
I don't really
of
know.
a building?
Unless you can point to something more specific. I mean, we have, there's 2,000 police officers in the city.
Okay. All right. We'll call Internal Affairs in the morning. All right. Thank you.
What's that, sir?
I'll call Internal Affairs in the morning.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Once again, zero accountability for Boston police.